What is going on, guys? I'm Justin.
And I'm Myron.
This is the Just My Luck Podcast, man. Welcome to another episode. We are excited to see you all again and be able to talk to you all again and talk with and just share with you all in hopes that you get something out of it just from hearing from our experiences and people that we bring onto the pod and stuff like that. So, man, today's topic.
We upgraded now.
We have upgraded. We have upgraded. Boy,
I got me a headset finally and a light, man, so I can so I don't look so dried out and everything.
Yep, you got it for sure. And I'm proud of you. I mean, he's investing in himself and the podcast and his family. I mean, it's good. You never know. You never know. Maybe somebody seeing better lighting will say, "Man, I'm gonna subscribe to them because their lighting is good." As shallow or not shallow, but as small as that sounds, somebody might be like that, and that's fine. So this is very helpful. So appreciate you for doing that. And shout out to you, Myron, for investing in yourself. So the topic today is very pertinent to everyone, really. Just probably in different ways. We're going to be talking about health and staying healthy. I had a porn addiction recovery coach for about a year in 2016. And then I went and re-signed up with that same recovery coach and went through his coaching program again last year. And one of the big things, this isn't a podcast about porn addiction or recovery from that. That's a whole other episode. But it is about something that he taught us, that he kind of instilled in his clients. And it was the fact that we all have these, he calls them, I forget now, dang. You can think of them as bank accounts. He calls them your like life bank accounts, right? And capital. That's what he calls it. He calls it capital, reboot capital. But what he says is that you have your physical, you have your mental, like your intelligence, so to speak. You have your emotional, you have your spiritual, you have your social, and all those are separate accounts, right? And every time you do a certain thing, like go out or call, let's not say go out, call someone and talk to them, or go out to a practice or a dance or even to a bar or to the library, to an event, that puts a little bit into the social capital. Every time you work out, get good sleep, eat a proper meal, that puts capital into the physical bank account, right? And he talks about how all that capital, the buildup of capital, is important in your recovery. Well, the reason it's so important is because that is important in life in general, right? To have to be prepared, to have that capital to be prepared for anything that life throws at your way. He talked about it in terms of recovery. And anytime you don't do it, withdrawals start happening, right? So you start your physical bank account, or your health, as we're talking about today, starts to deplete or go the opposite way. And that leads to, in the recovery world, that can lead to lapses or slips or relapses, right? But still, we're not talking about recovery. We're talking about life. This stuff happens. This stuff is important in life. It's important to keep up with all of those buckets, right? But health is one of the most important ones. All of them are important, but health is one of the most important ones, because if you have poor health, it's really hard to do the things that you want to do in the way that you want to do them. You might run out of energy sooner. You might be sick, bedridden, and you can't get up and go run a marathon like you used to. You might struggle to breathe as well, and that might make it tough for you to play with your children, for example. So physical is so important. And man, I have to say, for years personally, I took health for granted. I naturally have an endomorphic build, right? And I never believed in stuff like, oh, I'm big boned and stuff like that. I never believed in that per se. I just said, I used to just think in terms of someone's fat or skinny, literally. in my younger days, I'll say. I didn't even think there's different body types and stuff like that. I didn't think of all that. But as I got older, I started to learn. And so growing up, man, I was tall, skinny, and of course, probably around the sophomore year of high school, somewhere after that, my brother and I started working out. Terrible diet, eating terrible, just eating whatever we got. But our metabolism was faster then. So obviously, we were putting on muscle and stuff. We're teenagers, so putting on muscle and went back to school, and girls would be like, "Oh man, you look different. You look better," and stuff. So started to get attention for that, but really took it for granted, man. And about college, that's when I first started putting on some weight to where somebody commented. And I remember who commented and everything. Like still friends with this guy to this day. I remember his comment and everything. Not in a bad way. I just remember because it prompted me at the time. I was like, oh dang, I didn't even notice. I need to go to the gym. Right. I was like, and it started off as me just going to the gym because this person made a comment. Right. It wasn't to stay healthy or anything like that. Just to go. And still, again, diet was trash. Now I would eat less, but I would eat terribly when I did eat. It wasn't a good combination. So long story short, worked out, stuff was pretty consistent. Got down to a pretty good weight. I mean, I felt better and things like that. But again, wasn't really doing it for the right reasons. I didn't realize that at the time, though. So fast forward through the years, of course, gotten more knowledge on health and things like that. And I would say the first big notice of my own health and really thinking about me as a person, literally paying attention to my health on a serious level was in 2016 when my father was diagnosed with cancer. I had never in my life known anybody with close to me with cancer. Never. The first person that I met close to me who had cancer was my father. And and later that year he passed away. And it was very eye-opening to me because that was the first time that I felt death close from a health issue. That was the first time I felt it close. My grandfather had passed away when I was in like 6th grade, my mom's father, but he died from complications from diabetes. So I was aware that diabetes ran in my family, but again, I'm 20 something, 26, 27 at this time. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm still good. Right. I can just do what I want. So, I was just going through life, and man, it made me aware. It made me very aware of my own mortality, making sure to pay attention to my health. And that was the first time I turned around and kind of looked at myself, and I was like, man, I really need to pay attention to this. Then the next year, my daughter was born, and I was going to the gym on and off. I was doing different diets, and I'm saying diet on purpose, you all, because I never do diets anymore. I literally do stuff as a permanent lifestyle change. I don't do diets. Diets are temporary. Something I can do as a lifestyle change. I don't start eating something or on purpose unless it's something I plan to continue to do for the rest of my days now. So when my daughter was born, man, that made me pay attention even more because now I have to be around just not for me, but for my child. And then over the years, weight came on, weight has gone off for different reasons, worked out, not worked out. And so, but all in all, that awareness of my own health became so important, man. And that brings us to today, right? And it's funny because I'm actually kind of coughing right now. I'm actually not at 100%, but that's okay because I understand better what's going on with my body. So I started going to get physicals, regular physicals. I got regular physicals as a kid from, of course, a baby until probably about 8 or 9. After that, I really only went to the doctor for like immunizations and stuff for college. So it was a while before I went back. I didn't really care that much about going to get a physical or anything until probably like 2019. I started going back to get physicals from my doctor, right? First time I went, and just going and starting to get physicals and getting an accurate picture of of my numbers, where I was, my testosterone levels, all of that stuff was very important to me and very helpful information to me, man. And it was life-changing. And so now I'm very aware of my health. I'm very aware of my own mortality. I'm 34 now, so obviously the metabolism isn't where it used to be. I'm not saying it couldn't get back there with the proper nutrition. And now I'm on a journey that I can stay on as a lifestyle. So I go to the gym, have a workout partner. That's what's best for me. That's my best way of doing it. Myron can attest. You know, he was my trainer / workout partner for I don't know, some months, Myron, that we did it together in Chattanooga. And so now, currently, I just went and got a physical the other day, you all, in where we recently moved to. We moved back to the Memphis area. And of course, I didn't have a PCP. So I went and got a physical and got my results back the other day. Now, mind you all, I've been going to the gym. I've been eating way better, more fruits, vegetables, but still eating that other bad stuff, still overly snacking and things like that. And here's what happened. I got my results back the other day, or went to the doctor on Tuesday, got my results back on Wednesday. And it said that my A1C levels, diabetes runs rampant in my family. My A1C levels were 5.8. That is the low end of pre-diabetic. Right? Now that was a blow to me for sure, because I thought I had been doing the things I needed to do, which I had been, but I was also doing a lot of stuff I shouldn't have been doing. And that was a wake-up call for me, because I said to myself, just because I'm 34 now, I'm a super grown man. So at this point, I don't take stuff the way I would have taken it 10 years ago. So while it was a blow to me, I have the tools, I have the knowledge, the wherewithal, and the tact to understand, man, yeah, I'm doing the right things, but I'm going to have to refrain or lower the amounts or stop altogether over snacking, eating too big of portions, things like that. And I, of course, consulted with people, consulted with my PCP, consulted with my mom, just because she's a nurse. That's why I sought out her advice as well. And she gave me some great advice. My PCP gave me some great advice. And I can say I'm honestly on a better path now. Even since then, it's Friday now. That happened on Wednesday. Since that 2-day span, it's been a lot of figuring out the best, or not figuring out, but finding out the best path forward. My wife is on board. My kids are on board. They're on board anyway. They can't. They have no choice. But
right.
They but health is so important. That's what I want you. That's what I want to get at with you all today. And Myron, you can talk about your own health journey. But currently, I feel good about where I am health wise. I don't like, obviously, my numbers being my A1C, hemoglobin A1C being where it is. The rest of my numbers were good. They were fine. But that A1C, that's a positive way to self-assess. It's here, but it's reversible, you all. It's reversible. I'm not on my deathbed, or to my knowledge, I'm not on my deathbed. I don't have anything chronic. It's a warning light. And thankfully, I'm able to turn things around with that. So if learning from my own journey with health, and where I am now, I want to give some advice based on where I am. You know, I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm a pretty muscular guy. Definitely been working out, going to the gym. I actually got weighed when I went to the doctor, Myron. And bro, I'm down 10 pounds.
Nice.
Bro, listen, for me, you all, that's big. And mind you, here's the cool thing, you all. I'm down 10 pounds. I have my body type. I'm what's called an endomorph, meaning that big muscles, it can easily gain fat, can easily lose fat as well. Not easily lose fat, but there are certain things I have to do, and certain things I have to lower per se, or not do as much of, if I want, depending on what I'm trying to look like, and then where I want to be health wise, right? So for me, I can easily gain muscle. That's one of the strengths of my body type. I'm already muscular. That's just my man body. It's muscular. So some of that, so I might have lost 10 pounds, but I might have truly lost. I net I lost 10 pounds, but Myron, I could have really lost like 15 in fat, but gained some pounds of muscle. Muscle weighs more than fat. So I don't know that for a fact. I'm just saying that could be the case. So I forgot I want to tell you that, Myron. I was like, Myron, be proud of me because my health journey is showing some results. But again, I'm not in it now. I'm not in it for the results, you all, per se. I'm in it to lead a healthy lifestyle. I'm not trying to look good for, I mean, my wife. And obviously I do want to look good in general. That's true, but that's a byproduct. I really want to live a healthy or a healthier lifestyle and be around for my children. They're watching me. They ask me all the time, Dad, you just came from the gym? My son, you came from the gym? Like, yeah, I went to the gym. Same thing with my wife. She's going to the gym. The kids ask, where's Mama? At the gym? And it's so good to hear them asking that because, yes, we are at the gym. This is what we do in the Washington family now. We go to the gym. And when you all get older, y'all can go to the gym. Take y'all with me. So I say all that to say, man, here's my tips. And then I'll pass it over to you, Myron, to give your insight on it. Here's my tips. Number one, know your numbers. Right? Go get a physical. Me personally, I was terrified of needles from things that happened something that happened when I was 18 with a needle, right? With a medical professional. And I'm not going to tell the story because I don't want anybody else to be afraid of needles like I was. But I had to fight through that because I needed to get my blood drawn so that they could check my numbers on stuff. So I've gotten a lot better with that. But man, it's important, man, to know your numbers. There's stuff that can happen in your body that you have no idea about because it shows no symptoms. You won't know about it until something shows up. So please, my first thing, just know your numbers. I don't care what kind of doctor you go to, whatever you choose. I'm not trying to force anybody to go to any particular type of medical professional. Just go to where you want to go, but get your numbers checked so they can find out whether you think it's a symptom or an actual result. Please know your numbers. The second thing is make stuff a lifestyle. If it's not something that you can do permanently, that you could continuously do, try not to start it. Because what's going to happen is if you do something, and obviously this applies to a lot of different things in life, but we're talking about really health-wise. So if you can't do a diet, I was saying that plenty of times up until now, a diet, you do that temporarily. You lose weight, and then what happens when the diet is done? The weight comes right back. I did 30 days on this diet. That's great. That's awesome. But that should be a launching pad to something more consistent that you can continue to do, even if you have to start extremely small, right? And that brings me to my third point, small steps, long distances. You know, one of our mentors, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, he said something very similar, small steps, great distances. I just didn't want to steal his quote. So small steps, long distances. Man, y'all are not in I promise we're not in a sprint. We're in a marathon, right? In the realm of in relative to eternity, to all time, sure, life is just a speck, right? And it's just a drop of water in the bucket. But to us who are living right now and experiencing life with 60, 70, 80, 90 years, depending on your health, man, it feels like a long time, right? We're in a marathon. So if you're making changes that you do want to turn into a lifestyle, please, you can start small. You can start small. If you know you'll do it consistently, it will build over time to where you'll look up one day and you'll be on another level health-wise. So know your numbers. Start small, small steps, great distances, and make it a lifestyle instead of just a diet or something temporary. That's my tips to really good health. And like I said, I'm still on my journey. But man, I like this journey. I like the results that are coming from it, and I'm gonna keep going, man. Keep going.
There you go.
So one day I'll be lifting, no pull-ups with a vest on and weights hanging from my legs like Myron does. He's like, yeah,
Nah.
man, I just did a workout. I come out there, dude has a 40-pound vest on, and then he has 95-pound weights hanging from chains on his legs. I'm like, there's no way. This dude is next level. So,
if
so
y'all don't if y'all don't
Goku.
know if y'all don't know Justin, he can definitely he can
Exaggerate.
exaggerate on stuff
Goku.
very
Goku.
definitely
And I'm Krillin. I'm
de-
Krillin at the in the gym.
Goku.
Yep. Goku now.
Oh
So,
my God. Yeah.
but uh,
Uh,
but yeah, man, that's myself on health. What about you, Myron? Talk to us. Talk to the people.
um,
Because
yeah,
you're
I
big on
mean,
health. You're big on the you've always been healthy, at least to me, from
mhm.
what I can see. So yeah, talk about it.
Well, I think one of the things that people have to always do in terms of whatever their health journey is kind of you can use other images of people as a as motivation, but I think the motivation for anything has to be internal in terms of everything. And you have to be more in competition with the person that you see in the mirror versus the person that you see in a magazine or the person that you aspire to be aesthetically, because there's so many different factors that play into different body types. You mentioned endomorph, ectomorph, mesomorph, all these different types of body types, genetics, different things like that. Some things is just, I could want to look like Simian Panda, right? Or I could want to look like, you know, any, specific athlete. Like I could want to look like Russell Westbrook, but like, is that attainable? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about what's attainable. But I also just say, be more, look for the feedback from when you look in the mirror, is what I say, and be more in tune with how you are feeling. Use the advice and the knowledge and stuff like that that you can find online. But I think the first thing is being more in tune and being more gracious with the person that you see in the mirror. Um, I've had to kind of do that, in my journey, and you know, I've picked up weight in terms of things recently, in terms of inconsistencies over time of children and focus shifting. So I think, it's going back to some stuff that we talked about in previous podcasts before. And a lot of it really just comes down to, bro, like, building a routine, what are you trying to do? You know, what types of activities give you, some form of joy, in terms of what you do. I like lifting weights. I like body weight stuff. I like to play basketball. I like other different types of sports and things like that uh, you know, keep me moving. And you find those things and you continue to do them consistently over time. And as you do that, you'll continue to see the results, that you're looking for. I still, I know we're on here talking about health, and like just to say, neither one of us are a bodybuilder or anything like that. You know, I think as we get older, you have to be even more conscious of your health. I feel like, because the body has been on this earth, under the pressure of gravity and all of these different elements over time. So I mean, as you get older, you're gonna have to be more cognizant of your health, because I personally want to be here longer for my family. I want to be here longer for my kids. Um, but I think a lot of times too is kind of hard in terms of everything because it's so much information out there, and it's kind of like, what do I pull from? Do I look at this person? Do I try this thing? Um, uh, you know, I think with anything too, you have to take everything at face value and also do your own type of research to make sure that you make sure that you have a good understanding specifically of, the type of information that's out there. You know, some people could talk about form in terms of how you lift something or how you go about, your specific, exercises that you do, but you have to, kind of also do that research to make sure that you're understanding those things. So, in terms of my journey, man, when I grew up, out of high school, I remember looking at my license and it was like 140. You know what I'm saying? I was like boxer weight, but I would, I run and do some of those other things like that. But, as I've gotten older, my knee, I've had injuries now. I ruptured my Achilles back when I was in Chattanooga. Uh, playing basketball and stuff. Um, ankle injuries over the years in terms of like running, and a lot of those things like take the alignment out of areas in your body. And a lot of people with like knee injuries and things like that, a lot of those things make, people focus on the source of pain, but sometimes a lot of those injuries have to do with tightness or imbalances in other areas. So, those are things that you all also have to just keep in mind as well too. So, ultimately, like I said, I think that if you don't get anything, from me particularly, it just, you got to make sure that you are focusing on the person that you see in the mirror and be in competition with that person. Um, Take pictures of your progress, see how your body is changing. And as you see those things, you'll get those small wins. And that'll make you continue to want to go forward as you see those small progress. But don't get so caught up in progress to where if you don't see the things that you're looking for, that you get disappointed. That may be the time where you may need to either get, more accountability, or you may need to change up some things. So it just kind of depends on the situation. But yeah, man, we're all trying to get to the best version of ourselves.
I agree, man, for sure. I definitely agree.
Mm-hmm.
And so, man, that's what we wanted to come and talk to you all about today, just health, because again, without your health, things can be tougher. Everything else can be tougher.
Mm-hmm.
Are other things doable if you have poor health? Yeah, absolutely. Right? Things are doable. I'm not at optimal health right now. I'm coughing and stuff like that, but I can still get on the podcast. Right? I
Mm-hmm.
can still play Halo. I can still drive. I still went to the gym. You can still do stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's not going to be to the level that you normally could. I went to the gym today, y'all. I
Mm-hmm.
did 2 machines. I walked on the treadmill for 15 minutes. I
Mm-hmm.
told my gym partner, I said, hey, man, I said, listen, I'm not 100% right now. I'm just coming here for consistency. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not doing anything heavy. I'm going to literally walk. I'm not going to tax my lungs. I'm just going to walk to get in some very, very, very light cardio.
Mm-hmm.
We did 2 machines, and I did minimum weight. He
Mm-hmm.
was doing 3 sets. I did 2 sets.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did the sled,
Mm-hmm.
and I took off one of the weights. And one of the trainers was like, he's scared, just joking. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's taking off some of the weights. And my friend, my gym partner, he kind of stuck up for me. He was like, hey man, like he's not 100% today, so he's just lowering the weight so he's not going too hard. But man, you can still do stuff, but it's not going to be to the level you could without your health.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So please, even if you don't take the stuff we're offering, the advice we're offering, find someone you trust to give you health advice and follow them. Everyone's journey is different. What works for you is different from what works for me. Um, so find what works for you, man. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something you can do consistently. Like Myron said, stuff that brings you joy, and
Mm-hmm.
do that. So you all, man, as usual, we appreciate all of you listeners. Make sure, man, to like, subscribe, comment on the video. Um, Man, we appreciate everyone who watches this. I don't care if it's like right now it's 2023. I don't care if it's 2050 and you're just
Mm-hmm.
not seeing this video. Man, we
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you. We're happy to be talking with you all, have this conversation with you all, and we hope to bring even more segments to the podcast, more people to the podcast. We're
Mm-hmm.
building this as we go. Man, I think this is episode like 5 or 6 or something like that. So we're building as we go, and man, we appreciate you all. All right. So with that, man, I'm Justin,
And I'm Myron.
and it's been another episode of the Just My Luck podcast. Love y'all. Peace.
Peace.